I'm so glad you found your way here tonight. Right now, somewhere nearby, a dog is circling slowly before lying down, pressing close to the person it loves most, sighing that long, soft sigh of complete contentment. You'll discover the hidden psychology behind why dogs sleep beside us, what science says happens in the quiet dark when you and your dog rest together, and understand why this ancient arrangement is written into both your bodies and theirs. Welcome to the Sleepy Safari, wherever you are right now, perhaps feeling the warmth of a dog pressed against your legs, or remembering what that warmth has felt like. Allow yourself to settle into this gentle curiosity. We'll explore 100 sleepy facts about the psychology of dogs that sleep with you, from the first wolves who edged toward firelight thousands of years ago, to the neuroscience of what happens in a sleeping brain when a beloved animal breathes nearby, to the quiet language your dog uses just for you. These quiet explorations of the animal kingdom create a sanctuary for searching, restless minds. A soft like, subscribe, or sharing helps other animal lovers discover this peaceful space and brings us closer to protect these stories. One sleepy soul at a time. Your presence here matters. And we're grateful you're here. Settle deeper into your pillows now. Let your shoulders drop. Your breathing slow and easy. You don't need to remember every fact tonight. Just feel that peaceful heaviness spreading through you, like a dog curling into its favorite spot, completely certain it is safe, completely certain it is loved. Each breath drawing you gently deeper into rest. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. You're resting where millions of humans and their dogs have rested together for thousands of years. Let your mind settle into that ancient, quiet companionship. And now we begin. Dogs have been sleeping beside humans for at least 15,000 years, possibly much longer. The earliest confirmed archaeological evidence of this bond comes from a burial site in what is now Bonn Castle, Germany, dated to approximately 14,000 years ago. There, a dog was laid to rest alongside two humans, with care and intention, suggesting it was not simply a working animal, but a companion worthy of remembrance. This is the oldest known evidence of a dog treated as a family member. Genetic studies point even further back, suggesting that dogs began diverging from an ancestral wolf population somewhere between 20,000 and 40,000 years ago. During the last ice age, somewhere in that vast stretch of cold and dark and firelight, a wolf and a human chose, slowly, to trust each other. Sleep was part of that trust from the very beginning. The working theory among many scientists today is that dogs did not simply get domesticated by humans. In an important sense, they may have domesticated themselves. The prevailing idea, sometimes called the survival of the friendliest hypothesis, suggests that certain ancient wolves began scavenging near human campsites. The wolves that were less aggressive, less fearful of people, were tolerated, fed scraps, and gradually drawn into the orbit of human life over generations. Natural selection favored wolves that were comfortable near people. Friendliness became a genetic advantage. Those early proto-dogs that could rest near humans without agitation, that could sleep near the fire without startle, were the ones who survived and reproduced. In this view, the dog did not wait to be invited in. It walked in quietly, lay down near the warmth, and stayed. Something physically changed in dogs as they became domesticated. The process of becoming friendly rewired not just behavior but anatomy. Dogs developed the ability to read human facial expressions, a skill wolves raised alongside humans cannot fully replicate. They evolved a small muscle above their eyebrows, called the levator anguli oculi medialis, that allows them to raise their inner brows in a way that resembles the expression humans make when they feel sad or vulnerable. Researchers studying the facial anatomy of dogs and wolves found this muscle consistently across dog breeds but rarely in wolves. A change that appears to have emerged over tens of thousands of years of living alongside humans. When your dog gives you that soft, searching gaze before settling down for sleep, it carries something ancient in it. A quietness shaped over many thousands of years of learning to belong beside a human. Dogs process human faces, the way humans process each other's faces. Brain imaging research, using specially adapted equipment, has shown that when dogs view human faces, the temporal cortex activates in a pattern strikingly similar to human face processing. Dogs distinguish between familiar and unfamiliar faces, and their brains respond differently to emotional expressions. A smiling human face produces different neural activity than a neutral one. Your dog is not just recognizing you as a provider of food, it is reading you, tracking the subtleties of your mood, and adjusting its own behavior in response. Lying down beside you at night is, in part, a response to the emotional information your face and body have been broadcasting all day. The average dog spends somewhere between 12 and 14 hours sleeping every day, though this varies considerably with age, breed, and activity level. Puppies and senior dogs can sleep up to 18 hours. Working dogs and very active breeds may sleep less. Larger breeds tend to sleep more than smaller ones. Dogs are polyphasic sleepers, meaning they cycle in and out of sleep many times across a 24-hour period rather than consolidating all rest into one long block. This pattern is a legacy of their ancestral life, where vigilance had to alternate with rest. When a dog sleeps beside you through the night, it is adjusting its natural polyphasic rhythm to synchronize with yours. This is a meaningful behavioral adaptation, and it is one they make willingly, out of something that looks very much like preference. Approximately 70% of dog owners allow their dogs to sleep in their bedrooms, and nearly half share their actual bed with their dog. These are not trivial numbers. They represent millions of humans voluntarily choosing to invite another species into the most intimate space of their daily lives. Research from Canisius University found that among women in particular, co-sleeping with a dog was associated with feelings of comfort, security, and improved sleep quality by subjective report. The psychological security of having a sleeping dog nearby appears to reduce nighttime cognitive arousal, the restless thinking and low-level anxiety that often delays the onset of sleep in adults. Something about a dog's breathing, its warmth, its solid, quiet presence, gently interrupts the spiral of nighttime worry. When you pet your dog before bed, something measurable happens in your body. Oxytocin, sometimes called the bonding hormone, rises in your bloodstream. This is the same hormone involved in the bond between mothers and infants, in the feeling of closeness between romantic partners. Research has consistently shown that gentle touch between humans and dogs, particularly stroking along the back and sides, produces an oxytocin rise in the human. Cortisol, the primary stress hormone, decreases. Blood pressure drops slightly. Heart rate steadies. Something in the body interprets a dog's closeness as permission to soften, and softening is the first condition of sleep. Dogs experience the same hormonal response to closeness with their humans. Research has shown that oxytocin rises in dogs during positive interaction with their owners, including gentle touch, mutual gaze, and shared rest. Cortisol decreases in both parties. Dogs and their humans share a bidirectional biochemical conversation during moments of closeness. When the stress markers of one go down, the stress markers of the other often follow. A calm human calms a dog. A calm dog calms a human. This is why the presence of a sleeping dog can slow a racing heart. You are not just imagining the effect, you are experiencing the result of a feedback loop that evolution shaped into both species across thousands of years of shared rest. Dogs have a true attachment bond to their primary humans, one that mirrors the attachment bond between human infants and their caregivers. Researchers have used a version of the classic strange situation test, originally designed to measure infant attachment, and applied it to dogs and their owners. When the owner leaves the room, the dog becomes distressed. When a stranger enters, the dog is wary. When the owner returns, the dog calms and seeks proximity. Researchers call this the secure base effect, where the owner becomes the quiet haven from which the dog can meet the world, and to which it returns when the night feels large. The sleeping hours are, for the bonded dog, a return to that haven. The night is easier when the anchor is close. The position a dog chooses when sleeping near you carries meaning. Research tracking sleeping positions in shared beds found that when one person sleeps with a dog in a larger bed, the dog tends to position itself at chest level, in the same location a human partner would occupy. When two people share a bed with a dog, the dog moves to the foot of the bed where space is available. Dogs are reading the geometry of the space and placing themselves in the location that maximizes closeness while minimizing disruption. They are not randomly sprawling. They are choosing, and their choices reflect something about how they understand their place in the arrangement. Dogs synchronize their circadian rhythms to human schedules to a degree that almost no other animal does. Dogs are naturally somewhat flexible in their sleep timing, described by researchers as weakly diurnal. In the wild, dog-like animals would sleep in patterns driven by opportunity and safety. But domestic dogs adapt to human sleep schedules, becoming most active when their humans are active, and most settled when their humans rest. This synchronization is not just behavioral convenience. It reflects a deep attunement to the rhythms of the person they are bonded to. Your dog does not simply sleep when you sleep because the house goes dark and quiet. It sleeps when you sleep because your body and your dog's body have learned the same rhythm, and the rhythm of the other has become part of each one's own. Dogs experience sleep in stages remarkably similar to human sleep stages. Their sleep includes both slow-wave sleep, the deep restorative phase when the body repairs itself, and rapid eye movement, sleep, the phase associated with dreaming. A complete sleep cycle in a dog lasts approximately 20 minutes, shorter than the human cycle of roughly 90 minutes. During slow-wave sleep, a dog's body temperature drops slightly, breathing deepens, and muscles relax completely. During rapid eye movement sleep, breathing becomes shallow and irregular. The eyes move behind closed lids, and small muscle twitches may appear in the legs and face. The dog lying still beside you is moving through these cycles quietly, cycling through rest and dreaming on a different rhythm than yours, but sharing the same essential journey. Most sleep researchers who study dogs believe that dogs dream during rapid eye movement sleep. The evidence is indirect but consistent. Brainwave patterns during dog rapid eye movement sleep closely resemble the patterns seen in dreaming humans. Rats have been shown through careful neurological monitoring to replay mazes they navigated during the day when they enter rapid eye movement sleep. Similar mechanisms are believed to operate in dogs. The twitching paws, the soft whimpers, the barely audible woofs of a sleeping dog are consistent with a brain replaying events from the waking day. A Harvard psychologist who spent years studying animal sleep proposed, based on comparative evidence, that dogs most likely dream about the specific people and experiences central to their daily lives. The face and scent and presence of the person they love most may appear in a sleeping dog's mind as it rests beside that person in the dark. The size of a dog relates to its dreaming patterns. Small dogs enter rapid eye movement, sleep more frequently but for shorter durations, perhaps cycling through brief dreams every 10 minutes. Large dogs dream less often but for longer stretches, with dream cycles potentially lasting 5 to 10 minutes. A small terrier beside you may be flickering through brief dreams across the night, while a large retriever drifts through long, slow dream sequences. Both are processing their days, consolidating memories, doing the essential work that sleep exists to accomplish. And both, according to current understanding, may be replaying moments spent with you. Dogs can smell human emotions. This is not a poetic overstatement, but a documented finding. A dog's nose contains up to 300 million olfactory receptors, compared to approximately 6 million in the human nose. The olfactory processing region of a dog's brain is proportionally 40 times larger than the equivalent region in humans. Dogs can detect the volatile compounds released by human sweat, compounds that change in composition when a person is frightened, stressed, or experiencing strong positive emotion. Research published in peer-reviewed journals has confirmed that dogs can reliably identify human fear based on scent alone. When you lie down beside your dog at night, carrying the chemical signature of a long or difficult day, your dog knows, not in words, but in the oldest, most direct language available to them. Dogs adjust their behavior based on their owner's emotional state during sleep preparation. Owners who experience high anxiety or stress before bed often report that their dogs press closer, seek more physical contact, or remain awake and watchful longer before settling. This is not accidental. Dogs are reading the chemosensory information, the sounds of breathing, the subtle postural cues, and modifying their own behavior in response. A dog that tucks itself tightly against an anxious owner is performing a behavior that has both roots in pack behavior and measurable calming effects. The warmth and gentle pressure of a dog's body against a human's side activates the same pressure receptors involved in the calming effects of weighted blankets. The dog is, in effect, providing gentle, deep pressure simply by lying close. A widely cited study from the Mayo Clinic used wearable activity monitors on both humans and their dogs across multiple nights to objectively measure sleep disruption. The finding was nuanced. Humans who had dogs in the bedroom, but not on the bed, showed good sleep efficiency, averaging around 83% efficiency across the night. Dogs on the bed rather than the floor were associated with slightly more disruption, measurable by the activity trackers, even when owners reported not noticing it. Importantly, over half of the participants reported that their dog rarely or never disturbed their sleep subjectively. There is a gap between objective disruption and subjective experience. Many people sleep through a dog's movements without consciously registering them. The emotional sense of security may gently offset the physical interruptions, leaving the person feeling rested even when the data tells a more layered story. A large study, using a nationally representative sample of over 1,500 American adults, found that co-sleeping with pets was associated with somewhat poorer objective sleep quality and greater insomnia severity on standardized measures. But the same study found no reduction in the emotional and psychological comfort people reported from the arrangement. This represents one of the most honest and layered findings in the field. The dog beside you may occasionally shift, sigh, or adjust, adding small disturbances across the night that the body registers even when the mind does not. And yet people continue to choose this arrangement overwhelmingly, suggesting that what the dog offers, the sense of security, warmth, and connection, is experienced as worth whatever sleep efficiency is traded for it. Science can hold both of these findings at once, the data and the comfort, without resolving which matters more. Perhaps that is something only the body knows. Dogs adapt to the sleeping preferences of individual owners over time. A dog that lives with a light sleeper learns, across months and years, to move less during the night. A dog in a household with an early riser begins to stir earlier. Dogs that sleep in beds develop distinct sleep behaviors compared to dogs that sleep in crates or on floors. They shift their position more gently. They tend to remain closer to the human's body through the night, and they show longer calm periods between movements. Sleeping beside you is not a static behavior, but a skill that your dog refines. The dog that has slept beside you for years is a different sleeping companion than the one that was new. Experience has shaped the arrangement into something quieter, steadier, more attuned. The pons is a structure in the brainstem present in all mammals, including dogs and humans. Its role during rapid eye movement sleep is to gently inhibit large muscle movements, preventing the dreaming brain from acting out its dream sequences physically. In puppies and in elderly dogs, the pons is less effective. This is why puppies twitch dramatically in their sleep, and why older dogs sometimes whimper or paddle their legs. When a sleeping dog beside you twitches its paws or makes a small sound, the pons is briefly softening its grip. The dream is pressing through. The dog is running somewhere in its mind, chasing something, playing, or perhaps being petted by a familiar hand. Dogs that sleep with their owners show measurably different behavior from dogs that sleep alone. Research on separation-related behaviors found that dogs with secure attachment to their owners and regular co-sleeping showed lower rates of anxiety-related behaviors during the day, fewer restless behaviors when left alone, and lower baseline cortisol levels. The security of nighttime closeness appears to influence daytime emotional regulation. The dog that is close to its person through the night carries that security into its waking hours. It is, in a real chemical and behavioral sense, a more settled animal. Rest taken in proximity to a trusted companion is rest with a different quality than rest taken alone. Breed matters in co-sleeping behavior, though not in the ways people sometimes assume. Temperament and individual attachment history predict co-sleeping behavior more reliably than breed alone. However, certain breeds that were historically developed for close companionship with humans, lab dogs, companion breeds, herding dogs, bred for constant attentiveness to human cues, tend to seek sleeping proximity more insistently than working or guarding breeds. A border collie bred for generations to watch its human for the slightest signal is often a dog that cannot rest easily unless it can see or feel you. A dog bred for independent guarding may rest more comfortably at a distance. The history written in a breed's ancestry shapes its need for nighttime closeness. Dogs can read the transition between waking and sleep in their owners. Behavioral observations suggest that dogs notice when their person's breathing slows and deepens, when movement becomes infrequent, when the subtle chemosensory signals associated with the relaxation response change. Many dog owners report that their dog settles completely only once the owner is actually asleep. Not merely lying still, the dog is waiting for true rest, not just stillness. Once the human's body enters a genuinely relaxed state, the dog exhales, adjusts its position, and follows. It is as if the dog understands that its quiet watching is complete. Now it too can let go. Dogs and humans both experience what researchers call sleep inertia, the period of grogginess immediately following waking. Dogs, like their owners, may be briefly disoriented upon sudden waking, which is why experts advise against startling a sleeping dog. A dog woken from rapid eye movement sleep may startle or vocalize reflexively before fully processing its environment. This is not aggression. It is the response of a dreaming brain surprised before it has returned to full waking awareness. The old saying to let sleeping dogs lie exists because humans observed this phenomenon long before sleep science could explain it. In both species, the transition from deep sleep to wakefulness takes a moment. That moment deserves gentleness. When a dog licks you before settling down for sleep, it is not simply a grooming behavior. Research on canine communication has identified licking as a multi-layered social signal. In wolf packs, subordinate animals lick the faces of more dominant ones as a gesture of affiliation and closeness. In domestic dogs, licking the face or hands of a human carries echoes of that social meaning, but is also associated with the release of bonding hormones in both parties. Dogs that lick their owners at bedtime show elevated oxytocin in the minutes that follow. The lick is a good night. It is a small ritual that says, in the language available to dogs, I am glad you are here, and I am ready to rest beside you. Take a deep breath and feel this. You're an animal too, a warm-blooded creature, breathing slowly in the dark, just like millions of other animals on this planet right now. Somewhere, a dog is pressing its warm side against its person, sighing deeply, its eyes drifting closed. Somewhere, the breathing of a human and the breathing of a dog are slowing together, falling into a shared rhythm neither of them planned. Feel yourself as part of this living world, one creature among others, seeking rest, warmth, safety. Your body knows these rhythms, the rhythm of breath, the rhythm of the heart, steady and slow, the rhythm of trust that allows the body to finally let go. You belong to this ancient arrangement. You always have. Now we continue through the gentle facts of the night. Dogs read human sleep quality and respond to it. A study using paired activity trackers on women and their dogs found that when the human moved during the night, her dog was 3 times more likely to transition from an inactive to an active state in the following minute. The animals were physically synchronized. The dog's sleep was tracking the human's sleep in real time. This is a form of attentiveness that has biological roots in pack behavior, where animals sleeping together serve a protective function for each other. In the domestic context, this ancient watchfulness has become something softer. The dog is not guarding against predators. It is simply, wordlessly, present to you through the night. Dogs orient their bodies during sleep in ways that suggest deliberate positioning relative to their owners. Heat maps, created by sleep researchers, showed that dogs sleeping at chest level, beside a single human partner, tend to face the same direction as the human, mirroring the posture of a sleeping companion. Dogs at the foot of the bed tend to position themselves perpendicular, with their back against the human's legs or feet. This back-to-body positioning is consistent with how dogs position themselves in groups for mutual warmth and safety. Your dog is not haphazardly occupying the bed. It is enacting a spatial language of belonging, placing its body in a configuration that says, "I am here, and you are safe." Some dogs sleep under the covers with their owners, a behavior reported in nearly a third of co-sleeping dogs in behavioral surveys. Dogs that seek cover are often smaller breeds with low body fat or thin coats, and dogs that have a strong preference for warmth during sleep. From a behavioral standpoint, sleeping under a blanket with a human represents an extension of denning behavior. The ancestral drive to sleep in an enclosed, protected space. The human body under a blanket creates a warm, enclosed environment that gently triggers this ancient comfort response. A dog that tunnels under the covers is finding its den, and its den smells like the person it loves. Dogs show different stress responses to sleeping alone compared to sleeping near their humans. Research measuring stress markers, including cortisol levels and behavioral indicators, has found that dogs sleeping near their owners tend to show signs of a calmer physiological state compared to dogs sleeping in isolation. Fewer nighttime awakenings, lower cortisol in morning measures, more settled behavior upon waking. The body knows the difference between sleeping near a bonded companion and sleeping in an empty room. This finding mirrors research in human populations, where sleeping alone during periods of stress is associated with poorer sleep quality and elevated cortisol compared to sleeping near a trusted companion. Proximity to a bonded other is not merely a comfort, it is a condition that shapes the quality of rest itself. Dogs have a concept of individual humans that goes beyond recognition by name or appearance. Brain imaging studies using functional magnetic resonance imaging technology, adapted for awake, trained dogs, have shown that the brain's reward center activates specifically in response to the scent of a familiar human and activates more strongly for the primary attachment figure than for other familiar humans or familiar dogs. The dog's brain holds a special representation for the person it loves most, located in the same deep structures associated with warmth, recognition, and belonging. When your dog settles against you at night, its brain is responding to you specifically, not to the general category of humans, but to you. Dogs show what researchers call referential communication, the ability to direct a person's attention to something specific through looks, nudges, and vocalizations. This communicative ability is rare outside of humans and great apes in mammals, yet dogs possess it naturally. Before sleep, many dog owners observe their dog's version of this: the glance at the bed, the glance at the person, the returned gaze, a wordless negotiation about whether it is time. This exchange is not simply a conditioned behavior for treats. It is a form of communication that treats the human as an intelligent, social partner capable of understanding intentional signals. The dog is asking, in the clearest way available to it, to be included in the night. Dogs experience grief and loss that affects their sleep patterns. Research and veterinary clinical observation have documented that dogs who lose a bonded companion, human or animal, show measurable changes in sleep behavior. Sleep duration increases or decreases. Dogs that previously slept in the bed may refuse it. Dogs that previously slept on the floor may seek the bed for the first time. They may sleep in locations where the lost companion's scent remains strongest. These behavioral changes are consistent with what is observed in other socially bonded mammals during bereavement and suggest that the sleeping arrangement carries emotional meaning for the dog, not just comfort, but memory, identity, and the living presence of attachment. The warmth a dog provides during co-sleeping has measurable physiological effects on the human body. Skin temperature influences sleep onset. The ideal conditions for initiating sleep involve the body's core temperature dropping slightly, while peripheral skin temperature rises. A warm surface against the skin, such as a dog's body pressed against feet or legs, can support this peripheral warming and may gently assist faster sleep onset. People who sleep in cool rooms with a warm dog nearby may be receiving a quiet thermal assist towards sleep without fully recognizing it. The dog is not just emotionally comforting, its body heat may be helping the nervous system ease across the threshold into rest. Dogs respond differently to the sound of their owner's breathing during sleep compared to a stranger's breathing. Auditory research on dog attention has confirmed that dogs orient more reliably and with greater attentiveness to recordings of their owner's voice than to unknown voices. During sleep, the dog's monitoring of the sleeping human appears to be similarly personalized. Many dog owners report that their dog stirs in response to changes in their breathing, even when the change is subtle, but does not react with the same attentiveness to sound from elsewhere. The dog is filtering the night for you specifically. Its watchfulness is not general. It is attuned to the particular sounds of the one person whose well-being it has made its own concern. Research into the human-dog bond has identified what some researchers describe as a mutual oxytocin feedback loop, a shared activation of the bonding hormone triggered by close physical contact and mutual gaze. When you look into your dog's eyes at bedtime and your dog looks back, both of you release oxytocin. That release deepens the sense of closeness, which increases the desire for proximity, which triggers more oxytocin release. This cycle operates in both species simultaneously. No other animal outside of humans engages in prolonged mutual eye gaze with their human companions as naturally and as frequently as dogs. Across tens of thousands of years of living side by side, dogs appear to have stepped into the human bonding system, and the system recognized them Dogs that have been through difficult early experiences sometimes seek sleeping contact with their owners with particular depth. Research in animal behavior and veterinary psychology has found that dogs with histories of early deprivation or long periods of shelter living often use physical closeness to their owner during sleep as a primary coping mechanism. The security of a person's body during the vulnerable hours of sleep helps regulate a nervous system that did not learn early that safety was reliable. The dog pressed close against its owner in the small hours may be carrying an old wound and finding, night by night, that the wound is slowly healing. Rest is not passive for these animals. It is the quiet work of becoming safe. Dogs living in multi-person households often choose which person to sleep closest to based on relationship quality rather than proximity to food sources or play. Studies of sleeping position preferences in dogs with multiple family members found that the primary attachment figure, the person the dog looked to most consistently for comfort and reassurance during the day, was also the person the dog chose to sleep closest to at night. The sleeping arrangement is not incidental to the relationship. It is an expression of it. Who you are to your dog during the day shapes where your dog wants to be when darkness falls and the house goes quiet. Puppies separated from their littermates and mothers go through a sensitive period during which human sleeping proximity plays a meaningful developmental role. Research in canine developmental psychology has found that puppies between 3 and 12 weeks of age who have positive, close physical contact with humans, including shared resting experiences, develop more secure attachment to humans as adults. The foundations of the sleeping bond are laid very early. A puppy that was held during sleep, that fell asleep to a human heartbeat, carries that experience in its nervous system as a template. You are not just sleeping with the dog you have. You are sleeping with the entire history of how it learned what safety feels like. Dogs track the emotional content of human vocal sounds during the period before sleep, including the tone and rhythm of the voice even more than its content. Research using functional magnetic resonance imaging in dogs has identified that dog brains process the emotional quality of the human voice in regions that parallel the processing of emotional voice quality in humans. A calm, low, quiet voice tells a dog's nervous system that the environment is safe. The hushed voice many people naturally adopt as they speak to their dog at bedtime is recognized by the dog's brain as a signal that the night holds no urgency. The dog does not understand the words, but it understands the voice. And a quiet voice saying good night means, in every language the dog knows, you can rest now. Older dogs, those in the senior years of their lifespan, often show increased need for nighttime physical closeness to their owners. As cognitive function changes with age, familiar routines and physical contact with a bonded human become more important anchors for calm and orientation. A senior dog that suddenly begins seeking the bed when it never did before may be responding to internal changes that make the familiar reassurance of the owner's presence more necessary. Veterinary behaviorists suggest welcoming this shift rather than resisting it. The older dog asking to be closer in the night is asking something very simple and very ancient. Let me be near you while I sleep. You're still here, still drifting through these quiet facts in the dark. Take a slow breath. Notice how your body feels a little softer now, a little more like the sleeping animals we've been visiting together. Dogs pressed warm and close, breathing slowly, trusting completely. We're exploring this ancient bond together, you and I, and everyone listening tonight. There's no test at the end, just the gentle pleasure of understanding something you already knew in your body. Let's continue. The psychological benefit dogs provide for human sleep may be especially meaningful for people who live alone. Research comparing sleep quality in adults who live alone and sleep with dogs versus adults who live alone and sleep without them found that dog owners reported notably lower levels of nighttime anxiety and loneliness. The dog transforms the quality of the sleeping alone experience. The room is not empty. There is a heartbeat. There is breath. There is a warm, living presence that will notice if something changes. For the single person who has carried the entire weight of the day alone, a dog at the foot of the bed is the difference between sleeping in an empty room and sleeping in a room that contains another living soul who has chosen to be there. Dogs can sense changes in their owner's breathing patterns during sleep that may signal health anomalies. Service dogs trained for medical alert tasks can detect physiological precursors to seizures, hypoglycemic episodes, and certain other health events through chemosensory information, subtle changes in volatile compounds released by the body. Even untrained pet dogs have been documented in case reports and owner testimonies, reacting with attentive or wake-up behaviors before their owners experienced medical events during sleep. How much of this reflects genuine chemical detection, and how much reflects other cues remains scientifically open. But the dog's extraordinary chemical sensitivity during the sleeping hours, when it is resting but never entirely absent, is not nothing. Dogs engage in a behavior before sleep called circling, turning in small circles before lying down, a behavior inherited from wolf ancestors who would trample grass and check their sleeping area for hidden insects, uneven ground, or anything uncomfortable before committing to rest. Domestic dogs have no grass to trample, but the behavior persists, written into their movement by ancestry. Some researchers have also noted that dogs may be sensitive to the Earth's magnetic field, and one study observed that dogs preferred to align along the north-south axis during certain behaviors. Whether this directional sensitivity extends to sleep position remains an open and interesting question. The circle before sleep is a small ceremony. It is the body doing what ancient bodies did, even when the grass is gone and the night holds only quiet. Dogs often position themselves with their backs toward a trusted companion during sleep, a posture that is deeply trusting because it exposes the back, the most vulnerable physical orientation, to another. In wolf social groups, sleeping back to back or back to front among bonded individuals is a sign of high social trust and mutual safety. When your dog turns away from you during sleep and presses its back into your legs or side, it is not indifferent to your presence. It is expressing one of the deepest forms of trust available in canine social language. The back turned in sleep means I do not need to watch you. I know you are safe. Research has identified differences in how humans respond to co-sleeping with dogs, with women reporting stronger subjective sleep quality benefits and more frequent co-sleeping behavior than men. In one study measuring oxytocin response after interaction with a bonded dog, women showed a more consistent hormonal response. This does not mean men bond less meaningfully with their dogs. It may reflect differences in how oxytocin is expressed and measured, differences in social conditioning around closeness, or differences in baseline cortisol sensitivity. The science is still developing. What is clear is that the human response to sleeping with a dog is varied and personal, shaped by individual attachment history, biology, and what the particular dog and person mean to each other. Dogs that regularly co-sleep with humans show changes in their sleep structure over time. Studies comparing sleep in dogs who share beds with humans versus dogs who sleep in crates or outdoors found differences in sleep consolidation. The tendency to maintain longer, uninterrupted sleep periods. Dogs who sleep alongside humans tend to show fewer nighttime awakenings. The human sleeping schedule provides a social structure that helps organize the dog's sleep, reinforcing the natural tendency for the dog's circadian rhythms to align with human schedules. The regular, predictable presence of the sleeping owner is itself a kind of cue, a biological anchor that tells the dog's body when it is time to rest deeply. The sense of smell is the most active sense a dog maintains during sleep, while hearing is also preserved, and dogs will wake to significant sounds. Olfactory processing continues at a low level throughout sleep. The ambient scent of the sleeping human, specific and familiar, creates an olfactory landscape that the sleeping dog's brain recognizes as safe. This olfactory background is thought to reduce the rate of nighttime alerting, the startling to attention that dogs do when something unfamiliar enters their chemical awareness. Sleeping in a space that smells entirely like the bonded human is sleeping in the lowest possible state of vigilance. The dog in your bedroom is breathing you in all night, and because you smell like safety, the night stays quiet. Dogs that sleep with young children in the household often position themselves between the child and the room's entrance. This protective positioning has been noted in behavioral observations and is consistent with the guardian function that domestic dogs developed alongside herding and guarding roles. The dog is not consciously strategizing, but the body's ancestral logic places it between the small, vulnerable member of the group and whatever might come through the door. Parents who notice their dog sleeping across the threshold of a child's room or at the foot of the child's bed facing outward are observing an ancient behavioral pattern expressing itself in the architecture of a modern house. Dogs read changes in their owner's behavior during rapid eye movement, sleep. Owners who move expressively or show signs of distress during dreaming often find their dogs moving closer or gently pressing a paw or nose against the sleeper's body in these moments. Whether this is a response to sound, movement, or subtle changes in the owner's chemosensory signature during emotional dreaming is not fully established. What is observed is that the dog is not simply resting passively through the night. It is, in some attenuated way, present. The paw pressed against a restless sleeper may be a quiet offer of comfort. The dog does not understand nightmares, but it understands distress, and it moves toward it. Children who grow up alongside dogs show measurable differences in their responses to stress compared to children without pets. Research in pediatric psychology has found that the presence of a dog can reduce the cortisol stress response in children facing mildly stressful situations. Children with dogs also show lower rates of separation anxiety in some studies. The dog that sleeps at the foot of a child's bed is providing something that cannot easily be quantified in the language of sleep efficiency. A daily lesson that the world contains beings that stay, that are warm, that return every night, that do not leave simply because the lights go out. We're halfway through our journey tonight. Breathe slowly and imagine this. You're in the natural habitat of this relationship. Not a lab, not a study, but a bedroom, quiet and dark, in a house somewhere on Earth. where a person and a dog are breathing together. The dog has circled and settled. The blanket is warm. The house is still. Outside, the world continues its enormous turning. But in this room, there is only rest. You're not disturbing anything. You are part of the scene. You are accepted here, exactly as you are, safe and belonging. Feel the temperature of the night. Hear the quiet. The room is held by the darkness, and the darkness is held by the earth. And somewhere very nearby, a dog breathes slowly in and slowly out, and the breathing is the whole world. Everything is exactly as it should be. Now we continue, together, through the quieter hours. Dogs and humans co-evolved their sleep behaviors across the same long stretch of time, during which permanent settlements and family units were developing in human societies. As humans moved from mobile hunter-gatherer groups into settled communities, the nature of dog-human nighttime proximity changed. The dog moved from sleeping near the fire at the edge of the camp to sleeping inside the house, then inside the room. At each stage, the dog adapted, adjusting its rhythms, its proximity, its behavior to match the changing shape of human life. The dog, sleeping in your room tonight, is the endpoint of an extraordinarily patient journey. It found its way here, step by step, across many thousands of years. Dogs remember episodic experiences, events tied to specific times and places, and this memory system is active during sleep. The memory consolidation that occurs during rapid eye movement, sleep in dogs processes, not just skills and routines, but experiences. The walk you took that afternoon, the moment you sat together on the porch, the quiet evening at home. These are being sorted and stored during the sleeping hours. Sleep is where the day becomes part of who your dog is. And you are in that day, which means you are being woven, memory by memory, into the architecture of your dog's inner life. Dogs that sleep with owners experiencing depression or chronic anxiety often increase their proximity behaviors during periods when the owner's mood is most affected. Behavioral research in pet-assisted therapy has documented that dogs orient consistently toward their owner's emotional distress, seeking contact during sad or anxious episodes. This behavior is not trained in companion pets. It emerges from the same attentiveness to human emotional cues that makes dogs such effective therapy animals. The dog that lies pressed against a grieving person during the night is expressing something that looks, in every observable way, like comfort offered from one living thing to another. The sounds of a sleeping dog, the soft, steady breathing, the occasional small exhale, the rhythmic rise and fall of the chest, have a gentle effect on human physiological arousal. Recordings of calm, rhythmic breathing sounds in general have been used in sleep research to support sleep onset. Operating through entrainment, the tendency of biological rhythms to synchronize with rhythmic external stimuli. The dog's breathing beside you provides a natural, living version of this. The rhythm is not perfectly metronomic, which may actually be beneficial. Slightly variable rhythmic sounds are often more effective than perfectly regular ones at supporting the transition to sleep. The organic rhythm of a dog's sleeping breath may be precisely the kind of sound the nervous system responds to by letting go. Research exploring the relationship between the human-pet bond and perceived sleep quality found that what mattered most was whether the specific sleeping arrangement matched the owner's preferences and comfort level. Dogs that were welcome in the bed and whose owners genuinely wanted them, they were associated with neutral to positive sleep outcomes. Dogs in the bed, primarily because the owner could not figure out how to keep them out, were associated with more disruption. This finding is gentle in its simplicity. The benefit of the arrangement depends, in large part, on whether both parties are truly choosing it. Dogs have a stronger representation of their owner's face in their visual memory than of any other person, object, or animal they regularly encounter. Behavioral tests measuring gaze direction and attention found that dogs orient to their owner's face with greater interest and for longer duration than to any other face, including faces of other familiar humans and familiar dogs. This preferential attention extends across all conditions, including periods of low stimulation and rest. The face of the person they love is the most interesting thing in a dog's visual world. Lying in bed, in the dim light before sleep, when your dog turns to look at your face, it is orienting toward the most significant presence in its environment. Dogs in multi-dog households often form sleeping clusters, pressing together for warmth and social connection. The dog that lives with you and with other dogs navigates a complex social arrangement at night, choosing position based on bond quality and warmth. But most dogs in these arrangements, given access to human sleeping spaces, still choose proximity to the human over proximity to other dogs for nighttime rest. The human remains the primary attachment figure even in households where canine companionship is available. The pull toward the sleeping person is strong enough to remain present even when surrounded by others of its own kind. You are the anchor, and the dog finds its way back. The weight of a sleeping dog has a quiet grounding effect on the human body. The gentle pressure of a dog resting against legs, feet, or side activates mechanoreceptors in the skin. Sensory receptors that respond to sustained pressure and communicate information about the body's physical position and safety to the brain. This input gently reduces the nervous system's monitoring load because the body's position sensing system receives clear, continuous information from the weight of the dog. A dog's weight pressing against your legs during sleep is doing something real and quiet in your nervous system. Something steady and slow and grounding. Dogs that have been well socialized with their owners do not simply tolerate human bedtime routines. They participate in them. The ritual of winding down, the dimming of lights, the changing of clothes, the lying down, all of these become cues that the bonded dog learns and begins anticipating. The dog that starts heading for the bedroom when you set down your phone has read the sequence. It knows what the sequence means. It is moving toward warmth and closeness, and the particular piece of a house going still. The bedtime routine is not just yours. Over months and years of living together, it becomes shared. Dogs process their owner's absence at night differently from their owner's presence in ways that are measurable in behavior and physiology. Dogs left alone overnight show higher rates of nighttime vocalization, more frequent position changes, and higher rates of leaving the sleeping area than dogs with an owner present. Research measuring children's sleep alongside pet dogs found that dog movement at night predicted child movement in the minutes that followed. The interconnection of sleep between bonded individuals, human and dog, runs in both directions. The dog is influenced by the human's sleep. The human is influenced by the dog's. At night, in the dark, the boundary between you is softer than you might expect. Dogs that have lived through periods of illness, injury, or surgery, often show increased nighttime closeness during recovery. This is consistent with observations of injured animals in the wild, seeking the proximity of trusted group members. Social proximity buffers physiological stress. The bonded human is the safest environment the recovering dog knows. In your presence, during sleep, its body does not have to remain as watchful. Healing, for a social animal, is not a solitary project. It happens most gently alongside the people who are part of its world. The quality of a dog's sleep affects its behavioral experience the following day. Just as sleep-deprived humans show reduced emotional regulation and slower reaction times, dogs that experience disrupted or insufficient sleep show increased excitability, reduced trainability, and lower threshold for stress responses. A dog that slept well beside its person through the night is a more settled animal the next morning. Sleep is not a luxury for a dog. It is the maintenance that keeps the friendly, curious, emotionally regulated animal that you know in good working order. Dogs shift between slow wave and rapid eye movement, sleep more frequently than humans, cycling through both stages approximately every 20 minutes. During slow wave sleep, a dog's muscles may be slightly tense, its posture maintained. During rapid eye movement sleep, the muscles relax completely. The body may twitch. Breathing becomes shallow. A dog that has shifted into full rapid eye movement sleep beside you has crossed into its deepest vulnerability. It can no longer respond quickly if something startles it. It has, in the most physical sense, let its guard down. That a dog is willing to enter this state of deep vulnerability beside you is one of the quiet, ordinary gifts of the arrangement. Research in comparative neuroscience has shown that both dogs and humans consolidate emotional memories during sleep through similar mechanisms involving the hippocampus, the brain structure central to memory formation and emotional processing. The positive emotional experiences shared with a loved one, human or dog, are being processed during sleep and integrated into the neural network that shapes future emotional responses. The afternoons spent together, the walks and games and quiet moments, are being woven into your dog's brain during the sleeping hours. And your experiences with your dog are being woven into yours. Sleep is where the relationship becomes permanent. Dogs read human body temperature as a comfort signal. The human body at rest radiates warmth, and a dog's ability to detect thermal information through the nose and skin is highly refined. Warmth detection is part of the dog's suite of social sensory tools. A dog that presses itself against a human lying in bed is seeking not only social connection, but thermal information, reading the warmth as a signal that the person is alive, relaxed, and well. The warmth of a resting human body tells the dog, in the clearest possible language available to its sensory system, that everything here is as it should be. Separation from a bonded dog at bedtime can increase nighttime anxiety in some adults, particularly those with pre-existing anxiety or insomnia. Research has documented that for individuals with high anxiety, the introduction of a dog into the sleep environment can reduce the time it takes to fall asleep through its effects on psychological safety and cortisol reduction. For those individuals, the dog is not a preference, but a genuine calming presence. The science does not fully disentangle what is biological, what is psychological, and what is the result of years of shared experience. But the outcome, falling asleep more easily, feeling less alone, is real for the people who experience it. The morning reunion with a dog after sleep is marked by a distinctive warmth in the dog's greeting. Research on canine emotional expression has found that dogs greet their owners with higher intensity after even a short separation compared to the greeting they extend to strangers or to familiar non-owner humans. After the long hours of sleep, a reunion at dawn activates the dog's full social greeting. The tail, the whole body, the wide eyes, the rush toward you. This greeting is not simply conditioned behavior for food or walks. It is the release of a night's worth of patient waiting. You were gone for hours, in the way that sleep makes you gone. Reduced to warmth and sound and smell, and now you are back. Dogs often exhibit what behaviorists call the social referencing look during the transition to sleep. Glancing from a novel or uncertain stimulus back to the owner's face to read the owner's emotional response before deciding how to react. This behavior, common in human infants learning from caregivers, is well documented in domestic dogs and reflects the depth of their attunement to human emotional communication. When a sound outside the window makes your dog's ears lift and it turns to look at your face before settling again, it is asking a question. Your calm expression or your quiet breathing gives the answer, "The room is safe. We can sleep." Some dogs display what researchers call Velcro behavior, a strong version of proximity seeking that has them staying as close to their owner as possible, including during sleep. While extreme proximity seeking can sometimes signal a need for behavioral support, a mild preference for closeness during sleep is normal and healthy in most dogs. The spectrum runs from dogs that prefer to sleep in the same room but not on the bed, to dogs that sleep pressed full length against their owner's body. The position on this spectrum reflects the individual dog's history, temperament, and the specific bond it has developed with its person. There is no single correct distance. The correct distance is the one that feels safe and settled for both of you. Dogs may have a form of social dreaming, dream content influenced by their social bonds. While this cannot be directly confirmed, the continuity hypothesis of dreaming suggests that dreams are built from the material of waking experience. And for a highly social animal whose waking experience is organized around human relationships, it is reasonable to infer that those relationships appear in its dreams. This is a scientific inference, not a verified finding, and is offered here as thoughtful speculation rather than established fact. The Harvard researcher who studied animal dreaming most extensively proposed, carefully, that dogs most likely dream about the specific people central to their daily lives, and so the dog resting beside you tonight may be carrying you with it, somewhere into the quiet territory of sleep. The concept of a secure base, borrowed from human attachment theory, applies directly to dog-human bonds and influences nighttime behavior in specific ways. While the secure base concept was introduced earlier in our journey, its application deepens in the context of nighttime hours. When the house is dark and unfamiliar, sounds filter in. At night, the sleeping human becomes the anchor from which the dog monitors the environment. Unlike daytime, when the dog can seek reassurance through movement and interaction, the nighttime secure base operates through presence alone. A dog lying calmly at the edge of the bed, ears occasionally orienting to outside sounds, but body relaxed, is doing exactly this. It is alert but not afraid. because you are there. The secure base does not eliminate watchfulness. It transforms watchfulness from tension into something quieter and steadier. Dogs can be trained to provide nighttime support behaviors, including waking their owners from nightmares and providing pressure support during episodes of nighttime anxiety or distress. These behaviors require formal training, but many dogs develop informal versions spontaneously through attentiveness to their owner's sleep behavior. A dog that gently places its head on a restless sleeper's chest without training is performing a version of the same behavior. Whether the dog understands what it is doing in any abstract sense is not clear. What is clear is that its sensitivity to human distress and its drive to respond to it are deeply embedded in its nature. The sound of a dog's heartbeat, accessible when a human rests against a large dog's side, falls within a range that has been shown in some research contexts to support relaxation. Rhythmic sounds between 60 and 80 beats per minute have been associated with reduced arousal in multiple studies. A resting dog's heart rate typically falls between 60 and 100 beats per minute, depending on size and activity level. Pressing against a calm, large dog at rest offers the human body a living, organic rhythm within that range, something warm and steady to fall asleep beside. Dogs show a phenomenon called emotional contagion, the automatic uptake of another's emotional state, particularly clearly in their response to human sadness and distress. This emotional contagion operates in both directions. A calm, settled dog transmits its calm through scent, posture, sound, and warmth to the human nearby. The dog does not intend to calm you. It is simply in a calm state, and you are permeable to that state in ways you may not consciously track. This is one of the quieter reasons why a sleeping dog in the room changes the quality of sleep for so many people. The room contains a presence that is not anxious, and something in the human nervous system registers this, and very slowly adjusts. The dog that sleeps beside you has spent the entire day oriented to you, to your movements, your voice, your emotional tone, your schedule. At night, when you finally go still, the dog does not disengage from this orientation. It maintains it at a lower level through sleep, remaining gently responsive in a way that is quieter than full wakefulness, but not entirely absent. This sustained closeness through the night is one of the oldest forms of mutual care in the mammalian world. Long before language, long before any deliberate communication, two species lay down beside each other in the dark and agreed, without words, to keep watch for each other. That agreement is still in force. It is in force right now. You might be feeling tired now. That's exactly right. Breathe slowly and think about cycles. Dogs live in cycles. The cycle of greeting and parting. The cycle of waking and rest. The cycle of seasons and schedules, absorbed from the humans they love. Nothing stays the same, and nothing needs to. The dog beside you, or the memory of one, has its own rhythm tonight. Breathing in, breathing out, chest rising, chest falling, a heartbeat steady beneath soft fur. You are also part of these natural rhythms, the cycle of your own breath, the cycle of waking and sleeping, the cycle of energy that rises in morning and settles slowly toward night. You don't have to hold anything right now. You don't have to watch over anything. Someone else has been watching, all along, in the language of warmth and breathing, and a warm body placed beside yours by choice. We're almost there now, almost home. A dog's sigh before sleep is a behavioral signal that marks a transition from monitoring to rest. The long, audible exhale means the dog has assessed its environment and found it sufficient. The person is present. The night is quiet. The sigh is the body's conclusion that it is safe to soften. If you have ever heard your dog sigh deeply beside you just before it rests its head, you have heard a declaration of trust offered in the only language it has. Dogs can distinguish nighttime from daytime, not only by light and schedule, but by the chemosensory changes in the human environment. Melatonin, the hormone that signals sleep readiness in humans, is secreted in increasing amounts as night deepens. Research has suggested that dogs may be sensitive to the body's hormonal composition during the sleeping period, potentially registering the shift in the owner's hormonal state as a cue that rest has begun. Your body's chemistry changes as night comes. Your dog, sleeping beside you, may be gently held within that shift. Dogs that sleep with their owners tend to wake with fewer signs of disorientation compared to dogs that sleep alone. Social context at waking provides orientation cues that ease the transition from sleep. The sound of the owner's breathing, the familiar scent, the warmth already present when the eyes open. These reduce the brief uncertainty of waking. To wake already knowing where you are and that you are safe is a different experience than waking to search the environment for those answers. The dog beside you offers a continuity between sleep and waking that makes the transition gentler for you both. Dogs remember the emotional quality of their sleeping experiences. Behavioral research has found that negative experiences in a particular location lead to avoidance of that location during future rest periods, while positive experiences lead to preference. A dog that has had consistently warm, safe, peaceful rest beside its owner will return to that spot, not because habit alone drives it there, but because the body remembers that this place is good. The sleeping place is emotionally coded. Every night spent there adds another layer to a memory that says, "Here, beside this person, I have always been safe." The experience of sleeping beside a dog has been described by many people as centering, a word that points towards something real. The dog carries no worry about tomorrow. It is here and breathing and warm. To rest beside such uncomplicated presence is to borrow something of it, if only for a few hours. This is a subjective impression, not a finding of neuroscience, and it is offered here as such. But it points towards something the science is still learning to measure. The quality of presence a sleeping dog provides is not purely physical. It is something the human mind receives and interprets as rest, even before the body falls asleep. Research has confirmed that children who read aloud to dogs show reduced reading anxiety and improved confidence compared to children who read aloud to adults. The calm, present attention of a dog creates a condition for learning that human social dynamics cannot always replicate. The same quality, the calm, non-evaluating presence of a dog at rest beside you, operates during sleep. The dog does not judge the night you had. It is simply here, in the dark, breathing. And sometimes that is exactly what the body needs to finally let go. Dogs in their senior years often shift their sleeping behavior in ways that reflect changing needs. Stiffness and joint changes may cause them to move more frequently during the night. Older dogs may seek reassurance more often in the small hours before dawn. Being present to a senior dog's nighttime needs is a form of care that deepens the bond. The relationship begun in puppyhood and carried through years of shared sleep arrives in the dog's final years at something quietly profound. To sleep beside someone from the beginning to the end is to understand, in the body, what faithfulness means. The slow, gentle licking a dog sometimes offers before sleep. The pressing of a head into a lap, the slow blink and long exhale. These are the dog's version of social grooming. The behavior that reinforces bonds and reduces stress across many species. They say, in the language available to dogs, "We are connected. I am calm. You are safe with me." In return, the stroking a human offers before sleep, the quiet scratch behind the ears, the hand resting on a warm flank, completes the exchange. Each night, before the dark comes, this small ceremony is repeated. It is older than any words you have for it. Dogs appear to experience something that looks like contentment during nighttime closeness with their owners, observable in relaxed muscle tone, slowed respiratory rate, lowered ear position, and soft, half-closed eyes. Whether this constitutes a subjective emotional experience, in the rich sense humans mean by contentment, is a philosophically open question. But the behavioral and physiological markers of a positive, low arousal state are present and measurable. Whatever is happening in that sleeping dog's body and brain as it rests beside you, it does not look like suffering. It looks like being exactly where it wants to be. The quiet of a room containing a sleeping dog is a different quality of quiet from an empty room. The faint sounds, the occasional soft movement, the presence of warmth and familiar chemical information from another living body tell the nervous system that it is not alone. Solitude and aloneness are different experiences. The room with a sleeping dog is solitary, but not alone. And for the human nervous system, shaped across millions of years in social groups, that difference is not small. Research on the biophilia hypothesis, the proposal that humans have an innate affinity for other living systems, has found that exposure to animals reliably reduces physiological markers of stress, even in brief encounters. Simply being in the presence of a calm, familiar animal activates regulatory pathways in the nervous system. A dog sleeping in the room, not touching you, simply present, may still be offering a version of this effect. The ancient human nervous system, built in environments full of animals, may register the presence of a calm animal nearby as a quiet signal that the world is well, the body can rest. Dogs sometimes appear to take up more space in the bed than their physical size would suggest. Research noting the positions of dogs during co-sleeping found that this perception is accurate. Dogs shift through the night, cycling through positions, and their movement tends to occur at the edges of the sleeping human's available space. The result is familiar to most dog owners. The small dog that began the night at your feet has arrived by morning at your pillow. The journey through the night is its own private adventure. And somehow, bedtime, it always ends up closer. Dogs' nighttime vocalizations, the soft woves, the small whimpers, the occasional drawn-out exhale that sounds almost like a word, are primarily generated during rapid eye movement sleep. These sounds are the audible trace of a dreaming brain, The motor suppression is imperfect enough to allow sound through while keeping the body mostly still. A dog speaking softly in its sleep is doing what sleepers across all dreaming species do, letting the inner world surface briefly into the outer one. The sound is small and passes quickly, but it is the voice of a mind that is somewhere in its dreaming, alive and present and busy with the memories of the day. The bond between a dog and its primary human develops across the full 24-hour cycle, not only in the waking hours. Night after night of shared rest accumulates into a bodily familiarity that has no equivalent during the day. The smell of sleeping, the sounds of breathing in darkness, the particular warmth felt over months and years, these build a knowledge of another being that is entirely felt, entirely pre-verbal. The dog knows you in the dark, not the version of you that is upright and purposeful, the version that finally lets go. That is a kind of knowing that goes very deep. Sleep researchers have proposed that for social species, including humans and dogs, sleeping in proximity to trusted others may serve not only psychological but neurological functions. Memories formed and processed in a safe, socially affirming context may be integrated differently than memories processed in isolation. If this is true, sleeping beside a bonded dog may shape the very quality of what sleep can do, offering the brain's overnight maintenance work a foundation of safety rather than alertness. The dog beside you may be shaping the rest itself. Dogs have been documented to enter social sleep, rest taken in deliberate proximity to bonded individuals, at higher rates when their owners are present than when alone. The availability of the bonded person shifts the dog's resting behavior toward longer and more consolidated sleep periods. The dog sleeps better with you there. And for many people, the inverse is also true. The arrangement improves rest for both. This is not coincidence. It is what many thousands of years of choosing each other has quietly built. The scent of a familiar dog has calming properties for many humans, independent of any behavioral interaction. Research examining the olfactory dimension of pet ownership found that the scent of a familiar dog can reduce anxiety responses in adult humans in ways that are measurable via physiological markers. The smell that lingers in blankets and in the warm air of the bedroom is a chemosensory cue associated with safety, warmth, and the presence of a trusted companion. For someone who loves their dog, that smell is one of the most comforting things in their world. And at night, it is gently everywhere. Dogs occasionally interrupt their own sleep to check on their owners. Behavioral monitoring studies have found that dogs in shared sleeping environments show brief periods of wakefulness in which they orient toward the sleeping human, scanning visually, taking in the air, confirming presence, before settling again. These check-ins are typically brief. They are expressions of the attentional bond, the ongoing awareness of the person who matters most. The dog is not anxious. It is simply checking, and when it finds you there, still breathing, still present, it lies back down and returns to its rest. The spot a dog returns to night after night, on a bed, a blanket, or a floor, holds the dog's scent over time. And dogs frequently seek that same spot. This is partially about olfactory familiarity. The spot smells like the dog itself and like the human, and partially about a behavioral preference for predictability during the vulnerable state of sleep. The sameness of the spot is a form of safety, Everything is where it was before. The night holds no surprises. In that familiar place, rest is possible. Dogs adjust their sleeping proximity to their owners based on the emotional weather of the relationship. On days when an owner has been distracted, stressed, or physically absent for long periods, the dog often seeks closer physical contact at night, as though gently compensating for the reduced connection during the day. The nighttime is when the deficit is quietly addressed. The dog presses closer, stays longer before settling, circles back for one more touch before finally lying down. The sleeping arrangement is responsive to the emotional texture of the days shared together. There is something the science has not yet found a complete way to measure in the relationship between a sleeping human and a sleeping dog. It is something in the quality of being held through the night by a creature that requires nothing of you, that holds no judgment about what you are or what you have done. The dog cares only that you are here, warm, breathing, present. In the grammar of dogs, to be close and to be alive is enough. And to lie beside someone who offers this simple, steady companionship through all the dark and quiet hours is one of the most underestimated forms of rest available to a human being. The dog is the only domesticated animal that consistently seeks to share sleep with its human. Horses, cattle, and other domestic species evolved alongside people in specific roles, but no other species restructured its entire circadian rhythm, its social behavior, and its physiological stress response, specifically around the presence of a sleeping human. Dogs did, not because they were bred to, because across many thousands of years of living side by side, sleep became the deepest language they shared. Tonight, quietly, that language is still being spoken. The last thing many people are aware of before sleep is the weight and warmth of their dog. The last information their waking brain processes is a familiar smell, a sound of breathing, the slight movement of another living chest. And in the morning, the first thing many people become aware of, before they are fully awake, is the same. The warmth is still there. The breathing continues. The night held. This is, perhaps, what the dog has always been offering in the dark. The steady, wordless assurance that you are not alone, and that when the morning comes, it will find us here, together, unchanged. Dogs do not choose to sleep beside their owners because they have been trained to. They choose it because in the particular language of a social mammal, closeness is care, and the sleeping body of the one you love is the safest place in the world to be. This is ancient knowledge. It lives in every dog that has ever circled once and sighed and laid its warm head down beside a sleeping human. The circle is the ritual. The sigh is the declaration. The laying down is the choice. And the choice, made again and again, across so many years, is what love looks like when it does not have words. Tonight, somewhere in the world, millions of dogs are settling in beside the people they belong to, in cold bedrooms and warm ones, in cities and on farms, in quiet houses and noisy ones, each one circling, sighing, choosing the spot that smells most like their person, each one bringing the slow rhythm of its breath into the dark beside someone who, knowingly or not, will sleep a little easier for the presence. The arrangement has never been perfect, but it is real, and it is old. And it is one of the most quietly extraordinary things that happens in the world every single night. A dog lies down beside a human. The human breathes. The dog breathes. And the night holds both of them together in its enormous, patient, beautiful dark. And so, our quiet journey through the psychology of dogs that sleep with us comes to a gentle close. We've traveled from wolves edging toward firelight at the edge of a prehistoric camp, to the neuroscience of a sleeping brain calmed by the rhythm of another creature's breath, discovering along the way that this ancient arrangement is not a habit or a convenience, but something written deeply into both species. From the long exhale of a dog finding its spot beside you, to the way a dreaming dog replays the day it shared with the person it loves most, we've glimpsed how sleep, for dogs and humans, has always been something done together. We've met the science and the mystery of a bond that survived many thousands of years of change, and found it here, unchanged, in the warmth pressed against your legs right now, or in the memory of that warmth, soft and steady in the dark. Dogs that sleep with us remind us that care does not always need language. Much of the bond happens in the dark, in the breathing and the warmth and the small adjustments that neither party fully registers as they happen. They teach us patience without knowing they teach us anything. They teach us presence without knowing there is any alternative. Without them, many rooms in the world would be quieter and colder and harder to enter at the end of a long day. By allowing them to stay through the night, we remember that belonging has a weight and a warmth that can be felt in the body before the mind can name it. We are not only sleep researchers or animal lovers or people who miss their dogs. We are, all of us, animals who rest better when we are not alone. In these final moments, take the deepest breath you can. Think about connection. Every human who has ever laid down beside a dog, every dog that has ever pressed its warm side against a sleeping person, connected through the long web of this ancient arrangement. You are one thread in that tapestry. The dogs we've explored tonight, each one a small, warm engine of loyalty and attention. They move through a world that is also your world. You share this planet with them. This darkness, this need for rest, this wish to not be alone in the night. Let your entire being settle into this community of creatures, into the knowledge that you belong to something larger than yourself, into the peace of knowing that right now, in millions of dark rooms, a dog is breathing beside a sleeping human, and the breathing is enough. The presence is enough. The warmth pressed against a tired body is more than enough. Prepare for deep sleep. No boundaries left between you and rest. Only peace. Only breath. Only the soft darkness welcoming you home. If this quiet journey through the bond between dogs and their sleeping humans brought you comfort or connection tonight, consider sharing it with someone who loves animals, or who is searching for rest. A soft like or gentle subscribe helps other seeking hearts find their way here. One quiet share, one peaceful night, one sleepy soul at a time. But there's no need to do anything now. Nothing at all. You've traveled far tonight through the ancient, living landscape of the human and dog bond. You can allow these thoughts of sleeping dogs and warm breathing to fade now, like the last light of a lamp turned down slowly, leaving only the comfortable dark behind. Let your breathing deepen. Let your body feel heavier. like a dog finally finishing its circle and lowering itself down, completely, into the soft and certain place of rest. If sleep comes, let it carry you like the long sigh of a dog that has finished watching and decided, at last, that the night holds nothing it needs to guard against. Smoothly, inevitably, into the place where consciousness dims and the body does its quiet work. If your eyes are still open, another journey waits for you in the queue, ready to continue whenever you are ready. But if they're closed, stay there. Stay in that soft darkness where dogs also dream, where the boundary between human and animal dissolves into simple, peaceful breath. Tomorrow, dogs will still be pressing their warm heads into the hands of the people they love. The ancient arrangement will still be in place, as it has been every night for many thousands of years. But tonight belongs to rest. Sleep well, gentle soul, and remember, you too are a warm animal, evolved to rest, to be near others who are safe, to let the night hold you as it has always held you. You do not have to earn your rest. You only have to be here, breathing, and allow it to come. Fall asleep to gentle facts. Good night.